How to assemble Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. Welcome to Retro Wednesday, and today I want to talk to you about the 1985 vehicle Voltron from Matchbox. And I've got to say, this is an underrated Voltron, probably one of the best Voltrons out there. Does not get enough representation for the Dairugger. And with all of that, I'm going to show that it has separate modes. There's a lot to it. 15 vehicles in this, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun vehicle Voltron, but the thing is, I never made a video specifically about this. I pulled it out for comparisons, but you know, the most recent black version of Blitzway got me excited about this because it is the right size for Blitzway, and nobody's tackling this, including Carbotics Blitzway, and maybe they will soon, but currently, it's the best one on the market to match up to your Blitzway, and I think they did a good job 40 years ago? Coming up. So let's start out with this. It's comprised of 3 separate teams of vehicles. The Strato Fighter Air team, that should be that one there. The Aqua Fighter C team, which should be that one there. And then the Turbo Terrain Fighter Land team should be that one there. So let's start with probably my least favorite, the Aqua team. Alright, so here we go with what they call the Aqua team, C team, communications module, which I guess is that thing. And then space probes right here. And then multi-wheel explorers, those there. Now, with that, these are basically the legs and the abdomen. That's what it is. This piece here slides up and down and is missing on about 75% of Voltrons. It's a hard piece to get, but it's there. And so with that, one of the things you'll see is that I'm utilizing parts from my good ones on this one way, shape, or another to showcase it. I don't care about this whole assembly, the team thing, the nonsense. I don't care at all. But it's a thing, so I have to showcase it and show people, you know, how it is. But yeah, I do not at all care. Anyway, yeah, C team. There's A players, B players, and C players. This is definitely a C player, in my opinion. Next we got the land team. This is the feet and the waist piece, and then the fists with the forearms. And they should connect in really well. And when we get into combining, I'm not going to combine them. I'm actually going to have them combined and show you how it combines. It's not really hard conceptually. It's hard in reality because of brittleness of these things, but this is fun, I guess. If you like it, you can make it roll. You could rev it up and make it roll. They all have that feature, for the most part. Every one of these vehicles has a wheeled rolling feature, fun stuff, and then you have the heel spurs on the back, if that's the thing that you want or care about at all. But anyway, I'm not a huge fan of this. One thing you could do is shoot down stuff with this. Pushing that button would shoot off and fire off the fists, and that's about all this mode does. The air team, and they also call the air team the Aqua Fighter was the first one, so Strato Fighter air team. Turbo Terrain was land. Aqua Fighter was C. So this one is Strato Fighter. And it literally is the top of the torso with the jet plane turned upside down. Now, here's the trick to getting this clipped on and clipped off. If you're in this mode and you're like me and don't care at all, don't clip it on. There it is. I've got so many secrets and tips and tricks that I'm going to share on all these Retro Wednesdays, but I don't care about this mode at all. I'm only showing it because it exists. I will never display any of mine in this mode at all whatsoever. But one thing I want to show is that the face does close. There's like a closing piece here to cover the face. The blue turns green in my secondaries. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we've got rolling wheels here, tires, real rubber tires, rolling wheels here. Actually, this thing here has rolling wheels too. So much stuff that has rolling wheels. And yeah, it's whatever the mechanism is, it wears out over time. But that's how it worked back in 1985. Next up, you'll probably expect people to show you how to combine these. And I will do that. I will show you how they combine. But at the same time, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to display. These parts break so easy. I mean, they broke easy 10 years ago when I collected mine. But nowadays, I actually broke a few parts and had to get replacements. And it's not super expensive, but it's not fun. It's wasteful spending. And I don't like that. But first of all, you got to break up your teams. One of the worst parts about this is getting these separated. Most of the time, it's not a big deal separating this from the C team, but getting it separated from the waist is a tough one. And part of that problem is this is notorious for seizing up. So one of the things, and I don't know if this is the one I fixed or not, but yeah, I did fix one. This is supposed to turn. Not only did I lubricate it, but I got in there with some needle nose pliers and slowly pulled it over. I blew lubricant in there and got it to work. But it's the only one I have that works. And it was a spare, so I tested my hypothesis. It became a law now, I guess. So when you push that down, these pieces come down and clip in. Now the other thing is these connector points have springs in them. But not only that, but when you put something into it, then something like this, it would clip into place. And then you push these side pieces to remove it. What happens is the side pieces actually push in on those springs so that you get an even surface so they remove. Not a good idea because most people kids just rip them off and break those connectors. How does one combine one of these? And let's start at the bottom. I like to start at the feet and work my way up. And so what happens is, and this might even be tough to get it off, but yeah, it's even hard to get it off. So these pieces slide down and you can slide them into the feet. And then once you get them all the way in there, oh man, I don't want to break anything. Then you have these wheels in the back, which will hold it on. Then you come to the leg where it would plug into. Now I kind of like yellow, plugging into yellow, but some pictures, vintage pictures even show yellow with red. You plug in and lock in, and then you push this to get them out. Sometimes it's not easy to separate them, and you can break them. So with that, then they plug into the base of this. You would plug this in. Now, one of the things is you got to pop this backwards to plug in, like so, and then you'll have that hanging off the back. Then what you would do is plug this, and I think it's the same up or down. You plug this in. Now, even though I fixed this one, I still don't trust it'll come out. So I'm not plugging it all the way in. And then you plug the chest in, and we move up to that. Let's close his zipper or his fly and get into the chest piece, having this, that's usually missing. If you want to separate the torso from this red button works for that. And I actually think it works really well. Okay, well, that's how it's supposed to work. Pop the head off too. Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun. See, so much about this is gentle and delicate and rough. Now, with these arms, they have two different sides to them. One thing I like to do is kind of upgrade parts as I go. So anyway, we're going to plug this into here. And there it is. It looks nice. And this side piece does not plug in for whatever reason. So it's left and right. You cannot swap the sides. Now you're supposed to plug this in like this, but it might not come back, so I put it in like this so it will easily pull off. And I think it looks way better, and so does pretty much every other YouTuber that makes this video. Same thing on the other side. Welcome. Hello from the other side. And then we of course form the head, which mine's not on all the way, so let's do that off camera. Alright, so I put my best parts on these two. One thing I want to point out is you can do whatever you want with this thing for the most part. I mean, that has to be the right arm, that has to be the left arm, but you can swap these, so you can have yellow, red, yellow, black, or you can have yellow, red, black. Either way, both have shown up in artwork or sales ads from the vintage era, so I really don't know the correct way to set this up, and the artwork itself doesn't really show you accurately either because it's so different, so many differences. But with that, at the end of the day, I don't really care. It looks good anyway. This Jet-On is a one-way ordeal, and I'm gonna put it on like that. Now, I think this is the one that I can wiggle off. So let's wiggle it and see if it pops off. Yeah, it wiggles off. Because it's worn down from use when it was stronger. But these break super easy. I've probably seen a dozen of these with broken tabs. Lately, so much, there's just not much out there. And what's out there is expensive. And it's expensive because it's still in good shape. So. But this was a super problem 10 years ago for me to get one that had some good tabs on it. And with that, I just want to show, be careful. And that's why I did not clip it on, in the upside down range. Well, actually, I've never done that before. Next up, we got the Lion Voltrons of 1984. This is the Matchbox, which is the same company that made that, which makes no sense that they don't scale together. So this is Vehicle Voltron 1, 3, and 2 with some weird like 8-arm gimmick thing nonsense, but I don't have it. And if I had it, I would speak in higher regard. But anyway, I kind of think Panosh works well with this size-wise. Aesthetically, though, the Matchbox still wins. Matchbox still holds its own 40 years later against even some of the best modern day iterations of Voltron. It's still decent. I mean, yeah, Blitzway's way better, but it took 40 years and it took 7 times the price. Then we've got Blitzway, which I think is the creme de la creme of Voltron. They're actually making a Defenders Voltron before they make the Dairugger, but this looks good together. In fact, they don't have to make the Dairugger. I think they're backing off that idea because SOC did it. And SOC is still available for MSRP in many places. And it was a failure. Yeah, they did rerun it a second time. But I think they're looking at the market and thinking, maybe there's not a $700 market for Vehicle Voltron. They might be right. It's sad, but they might be right. Anyway, the best Voltron made. I'd like to see, I would support it here, but at their $500 price point, not their $700. I don't need all the extra stuff, but at the same time, I would go for it simply because this is so good. That would be so good. Soul Chigokin over here. It was too small, and I waited and passed and finally got a KO. Vehicle Voltron's been underrepresented. There's the Miracle Metalworks, which I have, but it is so fragile, and it took a shelf dive when I was doing my last Voltron video. I don't want to touch it. I barely got it back together. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to show it in a video. I think I want to sell it, get rid of it, but at the same time, though, it's one of the few vehicle Voltrons out there. Solar Chogokin is still the best vehicle Voltron that's on the market, but it's too small. It doesn't even match up to the vintage. I was always confused. Why do people want this stuff that's so small? But one good thing about it is it comes with the sword, and they only released the sword with the Japanese release. So the US release, like all of us over here, we want a sword. And although it probably doesn't show very well, the SOC sword fits in his hand, but after years and years and years of play, the shoulder does not hold. That's a Tuesday morning one. My son has a sword somewhere, I believe. Tuesday morning version. That was like $7. Rest in peace, Tuesday morning. You know, if you stop and think about it, how unpopular is the vehicle Voltron? Like, even Super 7, Brian Flynn, who's highly aware of Voltron, made 6 or 7 different versions of the Lion Voltron, did not make a vehicle Voltron for their Ultimates because these are starting to not sell well. The different recolors and iterations don't sell well. The vehicle Voltron would be DOA, sadly, which, by the way, makes me want it even more because there's less product out there. It's more obscure, it's more rare, and it's still kind of fun. Think about this. Super 7 made the most popular knockoff of Voltron in the existence of any toy line ever through their Power Rangers, the Power Rangers Megazord. They have the Dinozord and all this other stuff, but this literally is the biggest ripoff or knockoff of Voltron in existence today. And it's highly popular because of it, even though I didn't know that was what was going on. And they made that. Guess what? This thing is highly sought after. This thing is even more sought after than the original Voltron, believe it or not. You can get the Voltron cheaper than you can get a Megazord Super 7 Ultimates pretty much anywhere. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a little bit out of it, and I hope you understood how to not break this thing. I think that's my ultimate goal in collecting in general, but I like this. I actually did not like it when I first came across one because I found out that it was all plastic, no die cast, and all that kind of stuff. And with all of that, let me know what you think about this. Is this something that you like, something that you want? Do you want to see Blitzway do it? Carbonics in the kind of premium $700 range, or would you just put this next to your $700 one and call it a day? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Happy Retro Wednesday. Time to hang around.